Hi, I'm Mag, and Anime Vanguards just released a massive update with so many new units, so today we'll be ranking them and also re-ranking the old ones, since these new characters may or may not be kicking some of the old ones down a peg. Alright, let's explain this tier list first, and then hop right in. D tier are gonna be characters that are just plain bad. They are better than the rare characters, but I would not recommend using them. C tier are a bit better, but not anything great. B tier, the characters start having value in a way or another. A tier are good characters, just not, amazing, great, or meta. I put farm and support a tier above A now, just because I feel like the farms and supports are more valuable than the A tier characters, but a farm or support can also be more valuable than an SS tier character. It's just a weird way of ranking characters, but these are the characters that do a very specific support that isn't replaceable, or if it is, they're the best at the very least. S tier are meta characters, and SS tier are either overpowered or even better than the meta characters. Also, I want to clarify, because I forgot during the last one, I don't rank characters from left to right. A lot of tier lists do, I don't. I rank them on the tier, and it's just how it is, especially because characters can be, I guess you can say, oh, this is the best character in the game, but for certain situations, another character could be just better than them. Also, now we just got tournaments added to the game, so that will actually reflect quite a lot on the rankings for the new characters, because tournaments will be taken in mind with every single ranking now, since it is the, I'll just say, really most important end game content in the game right now. You get a lot of rewards from it. So D and C tier, I'm gonna do something magical. Boom, I skipped. These are, some of the worst characters in the game, and I've already explained why in the previous two tier lists, so I'll keep everyone's time in mind here. The only character that's missing here is actually a new one, which is Nezuko. She just got added with the new Jujutsu Kaisen update. I'm assuming she was meant to be added with the latest Demon Slayer update, but maybe she got delayed. Unfortunately, even though a lot of the epics have two passives, she only has one, which is she does 75% damage when hitting burning enemies. I'm assuming she's meant to be ran together with Rengoku, but as an epic, she's not going to be doing much damage to begin with, so she's pretty bad. One character I'm moving from C to B tier is actually Piccolo. Right now, breaking shields is quite relevant on tournaments, and Piccolo is actually a really good shield breaker. It's not like you should use him above mythics, maybe depending on the situation. I just felt like because he has a proper use case now that I think is really worthwhile, I brought him up. Paragon, I feel like he was already kind of used, but even still, you'd not pick shield on Paragon, you'd pick other options, mainly recovery or whatever it's called. But since recovery got buffed, I feel like more and more people are going to be picking shields, so I bumped up Piccolo. Oh yeah, almost forgot. So Sukuna, he is going to be getting his own tier on the tier list. Right here at the bottom, unobtainable. I added Sukuna to the tier list, but he is actually not obtainable right now. So he's sitting there. You can't even read that text. There, better. You can actually read it now. Who knows how good he is? He's in the game. You can see his icon, but you just can't get him. Which means actually Itadori, which is his previous pre-evolution unit, is really garbage. Like, he's so bad. He's the worst mythic in the game. He has one passive, like he's the only mythic in the game that only has one passive, which is just straight up damage, range, and SPA minus 10%. Oh yeah, gets buffed by 10%. Damage and range is plus, and then SPA is minus. It's just garbage. Once he evolves, maybe he becomes OP, but as it is, I mean, I have to rank it how it is. He's the worst mythic in the game. But I'm gonna assume after he evolves, he's gonna be OP. We'll see. Continuing, another new character, is she Nobara? She's in B tier because, again, she has a use case. She has bleed. Right now, there's a bunch of bleed characters in the game. I feel like she is one of the better ones. She does damage plus 50 when hitting a bleeding enemy, and she inflicts bleed herself. She's just a very similar character to Bing, so I felt like they should both be in the same tier. I saw some people saying I should have put Bing in farms supports. I actually think I should have. But right now, there's so many bleed characters that there's actually better bleed characters in these two. I feel like if you don't have Choso, for example, which is a mythic that bleeds, I'll add them on the tier list in a second, don't worry. Yeah, you use Nobara or Bing, but, there's better bleed options right now. But yes, bleed is still very relevant, especially because I feel like when you're doing Paragon, you definitely want to be picking regen as much as possible because it's such an easy thing to counter. You just bleed the enemy and they stop regenning. Let's start adding the other B tier characters here. Itachi, just a pretty decent legendary character, nothing much special about him. I feel like burn characters are like, they're DOTs, but they're not special like bleed, so just being a burn character doesn't give him anything special. Outside of just doing a little more damage than usual, right? Goku Black, everyone's favorite legendary for some reason. He did get gutted like last update, so he's not as good as he used to be. Kizaru, still my favorite legendary, I feel like. But, you know, not favorite enough to be above B tier. And now a new addition to B tier got deranked all the way from farm to support. It's Pain. Right now there's a better push character than Pain, so I bumped him down to B tier. I think that is fair. Bumping the enemies back or pushing them back was already not the greatest effect, but you know, I was pushing him down right like that. Now the A tier. These are I would say, you know, like I said, good characters, but not amazing. Akaza, I feel like was possibly the worst mythic before this update, but it's definitely Itadori now. He's not bad, it's just he's kind of awkward to use, and if you somehow have him as your first awakened mythic, which is unlikely because you need to do the raid and stuff to evolve him, it's fine, but it's not great. Naruto, now he, I would say, was the worst mythic before Itadori, especially after he got nerfed. Next up on A tier, I brought down from S last time because, you know, new characters have come out and I feel like the new characters kind of take their spot. Obito, he was a really good, replaceable still, like he was on his way out, but really good leaderboard unit. I feel like the new characters kind of kicked him out of his spot, but still a good unit nonetheless. And this one is really like tough for me because I feel like I'm making a bad decision. Like I feel like they should remain in S tier, but at the same time, I don't know. The S tier characters just look better to me. Cheyen, I feel like he's the best unit in A tier, but still really feel like she should be going down from S to A tier. This is one I'm a little iffy about. But again, looking at the characters in S tier, I feel like this is what I should do. Her biggest thing to me is that she dodges and counters with the attacks. Like right now, there's so many characters that use being attacked to their advantage and or have more utility than her. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about this one. And to finish the A tier, this might be a surprising one, but I actually have Kilua. I think he was B tier last time. Yeah, he was. Right now, with tournaments, Kilua is actually being used for his stun, and hey, if he's being used in what I would call the most important endgame content in the game, the boy is doing something, right? I only don't have him on supports because I feel like there's a better stun character. Starting off the supports slash farm tier list here, or tier. New character, Julius. I'm sorry, I don't know who this character is supposed to be. I always feel so ashamed when I don't know who a character is because, like, legit, I watch a lot of anime and I read a lot of manga. I especially read manga. I like reading more than watching. So I am well versed, okay, in the medium. But I still miss some. Yeah, this character is very great. They freeze and they build up as the match progresses. Freeze being a new debuff. Not much too different to stun, but still different. But yes, the stun character in hand here. Sasuke. Sasuke is being used for the like top strategies on tournament right now to stun the enemies. It's him and Kilua. A lot of people are even using Sasuke and Kilua together for their stun. Personally, I think Sasuke is a bad stun character, but he's the only mythic stun character, so you don't have much of a choice there. But yeah, if you want to stun, I think Sasuke is still the go-to. I feel like he is better than Kilua because he actually, you know, stuns every time he attacks. But Kilua has more placements, so in any case, his stun is very, very in right now because of tournaments. And again, tournaments are the, I would say, most important game mode in the game. You get 35 rerolls a week if you get number 1, which, yeah, number 1's tough, but you know, you should at least be competing every single week to try and get good rewards, especially if you don't have good traits. There's a traitless game mode as well. Like, tournaments are very important, so characters who are good for tournaments are going to be in. Cheyen right now is actually really good on this week's tournament because she has the attribute buff, but I'm not sure if she is going to after she's not. Still in the supports here, we got Crocodile, our only slow character in the game still. To be fair though, the slow he does is very good, minus 50% speed. Maybe once we get like a mythic slow, maybe they do more than 50, because if you don't know, like the bleed characters, they actually do different bleed numbers. Like Inosuke, Nobara, Bing, and also Choso, they all have different bleed numbers, Choso being the highest one because he's a mythic. So maybe we'll get a better mythic slow in the future, but for now he's our only option. Okay, actually I made a mistake. It's fine, there's no need to retake. I forgot that I was actually putting down, I was going to put the new Inumaki. It's Inumaki, right? In the support tier, but honestly, I don't think pushback is that good of a debuff. I'm still gonna keep him in A tier because he is a better pushback than Peng, and if you want to use a pushback, he is the best option there is. But with that being said, as a debuff, I feel like pushback is the worst out of all the like crowd control debuffs. Like stun is better, freeze is better, slow is better. Pushback just takes way too long to proc again. With that being said, he is better than Peng. Peng is full AoE, but the AoE is tiny until you get the range, and then Inumaki actually has a pretty decent cone. Sorry, back to the supports here. I only made this mistake because I'm actually looking in the other monitor as my placements that I had already planned. And I had actually put him in supports, and I only decided to change it now looking back. We got our only buffer in the game, Rin. She's a pretty decent buffer, but you know, she's our only option, so maybe she's only here because there's no other option. Kind of like Crocodile. Maybe we'll get a better one in the future, but for now, she's the best we got. Also, our only cleanser in the game, Sakura, makes appearance, of course. Again, only option we have, so obviously she's gonna be in here, but maybe in the future, once we get a mythic cleanser, she can, you know, get taken out of here. And of course, the two farms. We got Speedwagon and this guy, which I was told who he was, but I already forgot. Speedwagon and him are actually, you know, characters you run together all the time, but also, for example, Speedwagon is better for low money game modes, and Sakura here, I'll just say his in-game name, is better for high money game mode. For example, story or legend stage or raids. Since you only start with 600 money, you can't really play Sakura, but you can play Speedwagon right away. So you can get the ball rolling a lot easier. But on like higher money game modes like Tournaments, Infinite, Paragon, you can actually play Sakura a lot easier and get upgrades on him faster. So you can have a lot of game modes where you're gonna pick one or the other. And again, for the low money game modes, I'm always going to pick Speedwagon. For the high money, I was going to pick Taka. But all the time, I run them both together anyways. Yeah, that was a support tier. Let's move on to the S tier, which are again the meta characters, I would call. Starting off with a new character, we got Choso. Like I said, he is actually the best bleed character in the game. So when you're looking at the other bleed options, oh, sorry. He's the best mythic bleed alternative in the game because the best bleed character is Alukard. It's just a lot of people, you know, say, oh, you know, Bing should be support because it's the alternative, which was true. But right now we have so many bleed characters, like we have Inosuke, we have Bing, Nobara, Choso. You're just going to pick whichever one you have the best, and also we have Alukard, which a lot of people don't have. Choso, I would say, is the best alternative to Alukard as a bleed character, but he also is a good unit just in general. His bleed is way higher than the legendaries, for example, and he does actually pretty good damage once he stacks up that other part of his passive with the doing more damage to bleed characters or enemies. Also new from the update, we have Jogo. He's, I would say, like is he the best burn character in the game? Possibly. I'd probably say he's better than Rengoku, yeah. His last upgrade, he does have like a tiny circle, but he has a domain expansion ability that actually makes him full AoE for a few seconds. And he does just do a lot of damage. Once he pops the domain especially, he does a lot of damage. So yeah, he's pretty good. I wouldn't say he's broken or anything, but he's a very good mythic. Speaking of Rengoku, I'll put him on there as well. On the last tier list, we actually ranked him before he got buffed, but even after the buff, I feel like Rengoku is just still a good unit, but not crazy. Again, on that burn, he's just a hard-hitting burn character, but unlike Jogo, which at the very least has the option to become full AoE, he just has that small circle. Like, listen, even after they buff the circle, it's still small. Now, this character I was considering if I put him on supports or here, but I'm putting him here. Todo is a very interesting character. In terms of his like actual damage and stuff like that, he's cool, like he's alright. But the real utility that comes with him is the fact that you can use his ability to swap his placement with any character. So let's say, for example, there's a very strong boss that you can't kill with your placements. You can actually just keep moving your characters as much as you want, really, and keep chasing that boss without having to spend money like deleting and replacing characters, which can be very, very useful. The only reason why I'm not putting him in supports and I'm putting him here is because, yes, that's cool, but you can only do it to your own units, which that means that, for example, his best use case would be like in a leaderboard run, right? But when you have to replace, it's usually the whole team replacing, not just one person. So is everyone just going to be running Todo? Unlikely. It's still a very cool concept. I think the concept of the character is great, especially because you can just use his ability as soon as you place him. You don't have to like upgrade him or anything. Very, very interesting character. Just really good design. But again, if only you could use it on other characters, like that you don't own. Maybe people would troll too much, but I think he would make the character like a lot more useful, and I probably would have him as a support instead of just like a decent or meta character. The last S tier character we have was actually a pretty tough decision I had to do, kind of like Cheyen, but I am putting down from SS tier Jin Wu. Let me explain. After he got nerfed like 10,000 times, I feel like he just isn't as good as the characters in SS tier. Still a very good character, still a meta character, but unless you have Monarch on him, which when ranking characters, I do have to think, okay, does this character need Monarch? Does this character work well with any trait? I feel like Jin Wu only really works well if you have Monarch on him. Otherwise, the summons suck and they have no purpose. The only purpose of the summons is to buff Eegis for a little bit, but you can't even have 100% uptime anymore on those. I don't know, after the nerfs, especially after they nerfed Eegis as well, I feel like Jin Wu just isn't all that. If he never got nerfed, he would still be SS tier, but especially with the new characters that were released, plus him getting nerfed, that's the decision I made. I'm putting him down. But if you're running Eegis, I probably would still run him, especially on tournaments, but I'll tell you that, they just gutted my boy. I mean, you know, you know the rest. Let's start from, should I do a worst to best? Let's do a worst to best. Who's the worst SS tier character? Reminder that the worst SS tier character is still a God tier character. Probably Tengen. Tengen is very great. Just a lot of area DPS. I feel like he's gonna be a fantastic and like staple for his own type when it comes to tournaments, and just in general a great character. The reason why he's the worst SS tier character is because compared to everyone else, here's the one character that doesn't have much special to him per se, but the damage, dodge, full AoE, he's just a really, really great character. Who is second place here? As in the worst, the second worst. Probably Toji. I wasn't really sure if I should put Toji in S or SS, but really like looking at it, I feel like he's an SS tier character. His damage is really great. You can swap him between being a crowd control unit and a boss killer, and he just completely wipes shields off of enemies, which right now, like, the new tournament that just released, the enemies have 6 shields, right? So a lot of people are running characters that are in there just to break shields. While me personally, I brought Toji to remove the shields. And not only he removes the shields, he does the damage on top, so he doesn't even like waste time breaking them. And he does more damage to the enemies that have shields. And with, you know, not just tournaments having, you know, shield modifiers, but also you having to deal with shields on Paragon, which is another very important end game content, which drops rerolls and stuff. I feel like Toji just has so much use case. The only thing that I feel like maybe they could have given him is that he's not immune or can't dodge, but still feel like his use case is just so great. Who's next? Probably Vegeta. Vegeta is just goated, bro. Best opener character because he's like the cheapest, he's 1200, he's perfect for you to place 3 Speedwagons, then place him, or 3 Speedwagons, and then attacker, and then place him. Like, it's perfect, the cost. He blends in with like any game mode, I feel like, especially if you have to take down a boss, and you can crowd control and then have the boss be isolated. Vegeta is crazy. A lot of people are saying, oh, finally people acknowledged Vegeta. He was always so good. No, listen, he got buffed like 47 times, and then he became good. But what matters is that he's good. Who's after? This is tough, man. I feel like... Who's the worst secret? I'm gonna have to wait, I need like a few minutes. I've made my decision. Eegis, number 3 best unit in the game. Maybe pre-nerf, he would be number 2. But right now, I'll say he's number 3. Eegis is a good crowd control unit when you max upgrade, but he's not really that great for that until you max upgrade. But most importantly, he's a good boss damage character because he just does more damage to bosses. What gets to him is, I feel after the nerf, he isn't as dominant as he used to. And now they're inventing new debuffs. So like before, what you really had to worry about was stuns, but now the bosses are doing like other debuffs that aren't considered stun, like the shackle, which is just a stun, but okay. And also like Gojo, for example, not Gojo, Sukuna, for example, the boss Sukuna, he just like halves your attack, which does affect him. But yeah, he's still good. He's just post nerf. They gutted my boy. Number 2, again, pretty tough. But I feel like it's Alukard. No, I didn't get him until he's already not number 1 anymore. But yeah, Alukard is still like phenomenal. Like all the characters necessarily are phenomenal. I'm just having like, I have to make really difficult decisions here to rank them. Full AoE on 2 different upgrades. The crowd control from this guy is insane. Like, the boss damage, he's more of a support when it comes to damaging the bosses because he applies the damage increase. But it's just the crowd control is unparalleled. Like, he has a multi-hit on the second attack, and he has a full AoE on third attack, and he gets a full AoE again on max upgrade. He's just, again, incomparable. He's the best crowd control character in the game. But after much consideration, Gojo is the new #1. The strongest sorcerer of today versus the strongest sorcerer in history. Who knows? He's not in the game yet. But yeah, Gojo, we'll be putting up the passive on screen. Not only he is immune to any ailment, so he can't be attack lowered, he can't be stunned, he can't be shackled. He infinitely stacks damage every time he's attacked, which probably counts, you know, being stunned by enemy explosions. I actually haven't tested that, but his damage is crazy. And he has a domain expansion that fully stuns everyone in his range, increases his damage by 50% during the domain expansion, and every time he kills an enemy, he gets SPA cooldown loss. Dude, Gojo is nuts. I haven't rolled on him yet, personally. I hope I get Monarch, but I probably won't. I would say he's the best unit in the game right now. Very well designed character. I'm looking at like, is he better than the Gojo from Anime Last Stand? Probably not. The Gojo from Anime Last Stand is crazy. But still, you know, pretty crazy character. So yeah, we'll see when Sukuna gets his evolution, if he's gonna be even better than Gojo, but the strongest sorcerer of today, here we are. Let me know what you guys think of the tiers. If anything should be changed. Again, the iffy ones I have personally right now are, I still feel like Chai could be argued to be S tier, and you could make the case of Jin Wu still being SS, but that was a tough call, but, you know, I put him down. Thank you for watching. YouTube thinks you'll like the video that's showing up on screen right now. And as always, more content will come, so stay tuned. Good luck.